saw Jesse Pinkman in Need for Speed, and now we see Walter White take on the King. Godzilla. So Godzilla is directed by Gareth Edwards. It stars Bryan Cranston, Aaron Taylor Johnson, Elizabeth Olsen, and Ken Watanabe, or however you pronounce his name. Very talented people in this movie, and I was excited for it just for the simple fact that it's Godzilla. However, I never grew up on any of the old Godzilla movies like the original Godzilla, or Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla, or Godzilla vs. King Kong. Right now in my life, I just don't have the time and dedication to binge watch all of them. All I have is the 1998 Godzilla movie that was directed by Roland Emmerich. When I was little, I grew up loving that movie, but as I got older, I realized that movie is not that great. But with this 2014 Godzilla movie, it's a more realistic take on Godzilla. I'm not going to spoil too much of it for you, but I want you to go in with the open imagination. But the basic plot is something happens with Bryan Cranston's character. He realizes the government is covering something up. And years later, his son, played by Aaron Taylor Johnson, tries to get him home. But through some series of events, something happens, and they found out what the government is hiding. And all hell breaks loose. What this movie does well is focus on the human side of it. However, it's still about the monsters, but they were just a tool to tell the story. And it's a story about the people that have to survive through all the chaos and destruction, and learn how to deal with the fact that there's a big walking monster. A couple of other monsters, because Godzilla does fight 2 other monsters in this movie. So if you're going to make a movie that concentrates on the humans more than Godzilla, then do a good job at it. The movie does that, but depending on how you look at it, this movie may be a little disappointing for you. Before I elaborate on that, I'm going to touch on some of the characters in the film. Bryan Cranston isn't in it as much, but with the time that he's given in the movie, it's totally worth it. And he brought his A game to this movie like he did for the show Breaking Bad. Kick-Ass himself is in the movie. His character is one of those idealistic main type guys, and his character was handled well. I think the movie would not be the movie that it was without Ken Watanabe. I don't know why I can't say his name. He's one of those scientists that runs the whole cover-up of the whole monster aspect of it. When Bryan Cranston comes along, he realizes he could be a big help. And he's not just book smart, but he's also the guy with the common sense. That one scene in the film where he's like, "Let them fight." He realizes us as the human race, you don't fight these things. You just let it take its course, and hopefully the monsters will destroy themselves. It's always cool to see scientists doing their scientific things. Now, this is my only gripe about the movie, and I don't mean to compare this movie to the 1998 Godzilla film, but I swear, Zilla, I'm not calling him Godzilla, I'm calling him Zilla, but Zilla in the 1998 Godzilla film had more screen time in that movie than the 2014 Godzilla. The majority of the movie is focused on the humans, then we only see Godzilla for 2 to 3 times in the movie. For the structure of the story, I see why they went that way, but at the same time, there is a part of me that wishes we could see more Godzilla. But don't worry, when Godzilla is on the screen, it's epic, and they totally make up for it in the last 30 minutes of the movie. There's a whole bunch of moments in the movie with Godzilla where I was like, yo, that was epic. Especially in the third act, and in the end, with all the teasing, I wanted it to pay off, and to me at least, it did pay off. The visuals and the camera work in this film was stunning. I saw this movie in IMAX 3D, and it was worth every penny. To me, it was the best IMAX 3D experience ever. And I know some people are like, no, Gravity's the best IMAX 3D experience. Shut up! I'm entitled to my own opinion. In the end, Godzilla was a great movie that was shot well, directed well, great visuals, great scenes, and great actors. I just wish they showed a little bit more Godzilla. I will say Godzilla is an A+ for full price. To go off topic real quick, I was one of the camera operators on this web series on YouTube called Talisa Michelle Life Camera Fashion. The episodes are available on YouTube. I will put the link in the description below, so check that out. That's it for the day. You like what you see, you want to see more, subscribe to this channel, subscribe to my other channel. The links are in the description below. And be sure to follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Tumblr, and Instagram. And be sure to check out my website. Peace.